Hey Terrell, hey Raz. What's going on? Not much on my end. Yeah, Raz, I got your email. Well, whenever you can, no rush. Take care of family first. You know, it's not a big deal. I got plenty of work to work on, so I just want to make sure I just have all the cash ready for you, that's all, for whenever you're ready to start. I mean, yeah, that works for me. Like I said, take care of the family first. That's more important. But then whenever you can, you just let me know, and we'll go from there. What I'll do is I'll print the throne out from the guy I know by me. I'm going to see him tomorrow. I'll talk to him because I think he's got a bigger printer. And I'll see what he gives me, what he could do for the throne. So don't worry about that. That's fine. Cause I don't want to cut in pieces and have to put it all together. He might have to cut it, but maybe we can figure something out. What I might need from you though is I might need that Bowser head file though. Because I figured if I can have either him or you put it onto, I'll see what he says. If he can just kind of like slide it into the file and print, it'll work. Yeah, I know he has like 4 or 5 printers, but I think he also has like those plastic ones. So maybe I know he says he's got a big one, and I know he's printed like huge items before. So you know, even if he has to sort of like maybe cut it and make it hollow and I kind of connect it, yeah, well, I'll figure it out. I figure maybe it's even better that you print it out for me and then I can give it to him and then I can measure out how big I want the chair and have him do it afterwards because I don't need the chair right away. So that's the good thing. But then if he tells me it's too big, it's not going to work, blah, 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 I might have to find another file. So we'll go from there. Play it by ear. Because it's not like those files I need right away. Yeah, just email me the file if it's small enough. If not, we transfer it to me and then I'll go from there. Yeah, I noticed that with the Lara files. That's the kind of thing I've noticed is like with ES Monster and Abe, they sort of do the file first and then they do a nude version later. And it's kind of split up. But I forgot who it was. I downloaded one file and it was all one piece. But then I guess they uploaded all the sections later. So... Hey Scott, how's it going? Yeah, I don't mind it if they're cut. I just like 1/4 scale. So, but it works. All worked out. I saw another company did a Jessica Rabbit. I forgot. I got an email. I didn't like it at all. So far, that ES Monster one's the best one out there. Yeah, I think that was the one. Yeah, Scott, you got to get some work done. Got to stop screwing around. I do like that one Jessica Rabbit that's on the cult site. I'm gonna definitely do one off of that statue next round. But I figure by the time the next round comes for stuff, they might have different sculpts out there. We'll see. So a lot of people like the Jessica Rabbits though. They did pretty well on Instagram. So got a lot of attention off of those, which is good. Oh, really, Terrell? Now, do you know if he's doing, like, is he going to do, like, really good sculpts and not, like, try to pump out, like, one a month, or is he going to try to pump stuff out? I think a lot of the sculptors and the Patreons are not bad. I just think they're rushing everything, you know? You could tell a sculpt that's either somebody that's new to sculpting or it looks like an item was rushed out the door. That's the only thing I notice. Is that red? Is that the red Sonya with the? Is that the one where he did the? I saw one red Sonya where her hair is covering her left eye, and it's a really nice sculpt, and she's kind of just standing there with the sword kind of on her right hand. Is that the one? Or is he starting like completely different from scratch? If he starts a Patreon and stuff, if he does, link it to me when you see it, if he starts it. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to sign up right away, but I'll keep an eye out. I mean, you know, if these guys kind of start doing more and more Patreon stuff, that's awesome. In a way, it's almost like they have to now, because I don't like... I get a lot of people asking for commissions or for like a repaint, a build-up, or a customized item for a Grail, but I don't see a lot of the people anymore really doing like group together like sculpts and then try to sell them off. I know they're still doing it, but I don't think it's as much as they used to. I'm seeing more and more sculptors are kind of getting into that Patreon groove now. Am I right? 'Cause that's kind of what I'm seeing. So it seems like that's kind of like the future. I won't subscribe to Sosa. Sosa's a great guy, but I like his sculpts, but I've always told him he cuts the muscles too much, and it looks like they don't have skin or cloth. I like sculpts like Sosa's head sculpts. I like his anatomy, but I always feel that he cuts such deep into the muscles that it looks like they ripped the skin off the body. So if Sosa was to kind of start giving it a little bit more skin on that detail, it would look awesome. I told him that too, like at the Jersey Fest show a couple years back. I said, I love your sculpts, but I feel you cut so deep into those muscles. It's like, but I'll keep an eye out though, because you never know. Well, it's not texture; it's the muscles. Like, you know, like if you look at a lot of like Eric Sosa's Wolverine sculpts, the legs, you could see that he's got those really pronounced muscles, and it's really cut into it. And in reality, well, it feels like it's just the muscle and there's no skin kind of going into that crevice, and it just looks like it's like a skinless item, if you get what I'm saying. So that's just my personal preference. I like detailed sculpts, but I don't like it over. I'm not into overly cut like male or female muscles. I like them more defined but not cut deep. I wish I had an example. I don't think I have any examples of some of his stuff. But I mean, I'm pretty sure you get what I'm saying. But I love his head sculpts. His head sculpts are great, though. He has some really great head sculpt stuff. Yeah, that's kind of like he knows his anatomy. He knows the muscles, and he gets everything going. I just feel that he just needs to like layer skin on the item, and it would look good. Like with the Street Fighter stuff, he kind of did the same thing. They were like so cut. They were a little overly cut. But which was the one sculpt he did recently? I really liked. It wasn't a Wolverine one. It was a head sculpt he did on. I forgot what he did. I'm on his Instagram, but he posts a lot. He's been posting all this tariff stuff lately. He hasn't really been posting any sculpts or anything. So I don't pay attention that much anymore. But I will keep an eye out, and I will look at the other guy as well. Caleb. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely look at Caleb's stuff. So. Let's see. All right, where am I at? So I'm gonna paint this up. We have some snow and we got sprinkles. I don't know how this stuff works. We're gonna figure it out. Yeah, so as far as sculpts though, I haven't really seen much out there that's come out that I really gotta get. There's been a lot of stuff coming out, but I'm sure like even like Scott says, he's like you're printing stuff out like crazy, you don't have time to do anything. That's the thing. There's so many sculpts coming out. It's kind of crazy. Can't keep up. I just hope that if Caleb and Sosa they start Patreons, I hope they do some stuff that wows me. You know, it's like they do something that's like, wow, I gotta get that. You know, it's like that's. I hope it's not just like rushed out stuff or. I know they gotta make money though, which I get, but. I don't know. We'll see. Cool. I'll keep an eye out. If he does post it or he starts the Patreon or whatever, Send me some links on Instagram. I think with all the new sculptors that are out, are they getting is there like a lot of new guys getting work to do like commissions for like, you know, small runs and statues? I'm kind of curious on how that's going to start playing out in the long run. Like, is everyone going to switch to Patreon now, or I think if they were smart, they would, if they're getting commissions, they would do commissions, but they would also have a Patreon and kind of double dip. Instead of paying, like, you know, a new sculpt out every day on Patreon or every month, you can do like maybe quarterly sculpts while doing commissions. It's actually not a bad idea. Are you looking for something? What are you getting something commissioned up or something like that? Yeah, like I don't know what's going on anymore, like with the Facebook groups, or if there's people are still doing group commissions, or if everything's just becoming like STLs now. Like, I don't know how that. I mean, I see the sculpts, but I don't know if they're. I don't know what they are anymore. I started working on some kits and new commissions now in the garage, and I pulled I figured since I got to start filling in some kits in 3D prints, I'm gonna fill in my Bayonetta. I'm gonna try to start getting her going now. See if I can kind of get her kit built up at least in the next month or so, and then maybe I can start putting her together. Hey, Devastator. Yeah, I almost forgot it was Friday. Till my college buddy gave me a call. He's in LBI for the weekend. So we met up for breakfast this morning. I completely forgot it was going to be Friday. I just been so busy focusing on all these projects. Lost track of time this week. Alright, sorry about that. Forgot to turn the camera on. Alright, so the last time I talked to Jacob, he wanted this to be sort of like the Superman's pillars. So we gotta get some blue interference. Hopefully I got enough in this can. Give this a little bit of a adhesion promoter. Alright, so I'm going to do basic white on the rocks, and then I have the blue interference. Will give it a little bit of that Fortress of Solitude sort of look. Sort of. Well, wait, I gotta follow the pillars from the Superman statue, which I think had blue in it. From the sideshow one. So I had blue in there, so I gotta get some sky blue paint, which I think this would work. Yeah, this should be close. Alright. I like these tubes, but they always get clogged on the top. Alright, I'm gonna mix in some white, some little interference. Don't drop it. And a little drop or two of the blue. Get a little bit of that there. There we go. Mix this up. That's a good start on that. Let's dry this up a bit. So we're gonna start slapping color on here. I'm gonna use what is this? Steel from Mecha Color. Start getting all these ship parts. Basic metallic. Do any of you guys collect Pokemon cards or know much about them? Because I was on Instagram this past weekend, and I was watching, I guess I went down the rabbit hole of all the collectors, scams, and like mad rushes to stores. I didn't realize Pokemon cards were that popular. I mean, it was just absolutely. It reminded me of the video I was watching. Reminded me of the old days back in the Garbage Pail Kids? No, the Cabbage Patch Kids craze. So you used to rise? Yeah, I didn't realize there was a lot of scams too. And I also was watching videos of people who steal cards at shows. It's kind of crazy how these guys don't realize they're gonna get caught. Yeah, I saw that, I guess, what is it, like, Costco's was getting a whole bunch of, new cards, and people were, like, rushing in, grabbing, like, 10 cases and shit. As far as scalping goes, it's going to happen, and it sucks for the collectors who want them, but I think it's also part of the faults of the companies not limiting one per sale, but I understand, like, you know, Costco and Walmart, if they get something in, they just want to sell it. They don't care what happens. But I think like the company itself should like make a way to stop it. But I don't know. It's just, it was kind of just cool to start seeing all this stuff. Just kind of crazy. I had to laugh though. I was watching this one guy. He like the camera's like right on him. The camera's like right there. It's like up on the like in the guy's booth at the card show. And yeah, he opens up the folder, he pulls it out, and he has it underneath a tin. And I'm like, how could you not realize that they're watching you? There's cameras everywhere. me blow dry this real quick. Alright, we got black, we got black metallic, we got dark steel, and then we got chrome, which is not really chrome, it's just a brighter metallic. So kind of use all these to give it a nice washes, kind of just get some darker areas in here. Hey Joe, how's it going? Hey, what's up, Jacob? Uh, Productive week. Can't complain. Hopefully yours was well. Trying to get your Supergirl all finished up. Getting to the point where I'm sick of looking at her. So, wanna do the base tonight, and then after that, we can look her all over, and if she's kind of good to go, touch-ups in the eyes. So I painted up the rock stuff a little bit before. I'm doing the metal now, and then start adding the snow. I got the snow sprinkles and terrain snow, so we'll see how this pans out. Been a very productive but quiet week, which I really enjoyed. It's always good to have a nice quiet week and get a lot of stuff done. Yeah, I'm not really a Tom Cruise fan. My cousin is, and he just like loves everything Tom Cruise, but the movies are what they are. They're basically the same movie every time. So basically it's him running, doing some kind of stunt, them tricking the bad guy at the end with the mask, and they save the day. It's kind of the same thing over and over. So if you saw the first one, you kind of saw all of them. They're not bad. You know what you're getting into, but they're not mind-blowing either. It's kind of like, if you've seen the first one, you kind of know what you're getting into with the rest of them, like John Wick, which is fine. If that's what you're into, it's good. You're not catering to everybody. But I'm just, after I saw the first three, I think I was like, okay, I'm done. I always make fun of Tom Cruise because he just kind of stares off to the distance. He doesn't really act. Like, every movie is the same stare. I'll probably watch the last one because I've seen all of them. But it's not like I'm running out to the movie theaters to watch it. I guess a comparable movies would be like The Bourne Identity, Jason Bourne. I actually like the Bourne stuff better than Mission Impossible. They're kind of similar in a way. Yeah, it's Mission Impossible. There's nothing really. They're all the same. It's the same formula for every movie. It's just that it's Tom Cruise and he does his own stunts and everyone's like ooh ah. But if you take that his own stunts out of it and Tom Cruise, it's really nothing. It's just a movie, which is fine, but. But then again, you could take like Days of Thunder, and you can take what was the other one? The one with him with Jack Nicholson. And if you look at his face and acting, and you put that same acting into Mission Impossible, it's the same thing. And that's why my cousin gets pissed off at me, because I tell him it's like he has no range. Like when he cries, it's like the same exact cry every time, and when he smiles, it's the same. And then when he's serious, he just stares out to the distance. But that's how I see how he acts. But that's just me. Tropic Thunder was great because Tropic Thunder was good because he was dressed up and he was a completely different actor. But the funny thing about it is that's how he is in like the background. You ever see that one video or hear that one where he was screaming during COVID and he was screaming at people in the background of the mask? That was the same character. Oh, they are ones? Well, I don't know. Well, I just saw the video today of the AI now can do voiceovers. And I'm sitting there like we're kind of one step closer to where you don't need Hollywood anymore. Yeah, Mission Impossible is Fast and Furious. It's the same formula. This is what Disney tried to do with Star Wars, with New Hope and their thing. It's like the same formula, the same exact storyline, the same outcome at the end, but just a little bit changing it up. If you really look at the basic formula, it's the same thing. Cocktail, honestly, I never cared for the movie. I think the only thing I think that came out good of Cocktail was the soundtrack. And I remember Cocktail, I think, was like one of the first 5 cassettes I've ever purchased on my own back in the day. Terrell, they can simulate our voice no matter what now. I get a lot of those spam calls, and I guess they're trying to, scam your voice probably. So, we're all screwed. Yeah, Nicolas Cage, you know, I can't really like the only movie I really didn't care for many movies of Nicolas Cage. I don't really like. I don't find myself rewatching Nicolas Cage movies or Tom Cruise movies. So if I'm not rewatching them, I really don't care for the characters or the stories or the actors. Yeah, I get tons and tons of scam calls. I get tons of scam emails. Doesn't matter what email I use. Just ignore it all. There's a lot of those emails going around saying that your account has $300 and some withdrawn. Please call us if this is wrong. But there's nothing in my accounts. It's just all scams. I don't even remember those movies he was in. Raising Arizona, I think I saw once. I don't think I've seen any other ones. The only movie I really remember Nicolas Cage in is The Rock, but that's because Sean Connery was in it, and I like Sean Connery, so that's why I remember The Rock. But The Rock is basically a 007 movie when they got rid of Sean Connery. That's the theory behind it. And that's why I like that one. Like when Tom Cruise was in Reacher, the Reacher movies, Jack Reacher. I didn't think he was really good for that role because he's too short and Jack Reacher is supposed to be tall as hell. Now, the guy that plays Jack Reacher in the TV show is phenomenal. I love the TV show. I just finished up season 3 a week ago. And I love this TV show, but the movies, he's just too... He's short. You know, Reacher's supposed to be tall as hell and built like, you know, a brick house. But I don't know how he got that role. Oh, you gotta rip these off. Duh. Woo! That stinks. That's a good plan, Scott. That's not a bad plan. I would play Chris Farley stuff. That would be funny as hell. Alright, so Jacob, you in chat, right? So, what do you think of what we're looking at now? Can I get this? Because if I put snow on here, there's kind of no going back, really. So if I put this snow, I'm going to put snow all around all this area, so that should take away a lot of that blue overspray. and it should start blending in the metal to the areas. Tom Cruise will probably start off another series or do something else. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, I can't believe he's that old though. He is an old dude now. An older, shittier brush somewhere. Use this one. Yeah, I guess we could try a little, it's kind of hard to tell, but let me find something. Hold on, let's see. I got something I can mess with. Well, that's what I'm planning on doing. So think of this stuff as almost like Elmer's glue, but it's like marshmallow. And then what you do is and as it dries, you sort of get that little snow effect. And then I know it's hard to see with the camera, but then there's this ice sprinkle stuff. So this stuff is kind of like a watery stuff, so you get sort of like a little bit more of that icier, look. Like it's sort of melting a little bit. Yeah, it just, you just gotta kind of, well, I didn't want to do that. You just gotta kind of play with it. And when it cures, it's not like resin cured, it's kind of a little bit more like a softer, kind of let me hit it with the blow dryer a bit. Kind of show you a little bit. So when you dry it a bit, it starts to look like. I'll try to get you so you can kind of see it in camera. So yeah, so what I would do is a lot of the main area I would use the snow, but then when we start getting up around the rocks and the ship, I would use the icier stuff and sort of kind of blend it together. Now, I think it's gonna look good. Um, it just like it sort of cures, like, think of like Elmer's glue. You know, like how like if you mess with Elmer's glue with the blow dryer, and then it starts to, you know, kind of mess around. It dries and it creates like a skin. You start to kind of create stuff like that. So I think it's gonna work. And like this icy stuff too. The icy stuff has very, very tiny little plastic beads in it, you know? So I think it'll work, so I might as well do it. And it's just going to take some time, and just got to build it up, hit it with a blow dryer. And then if I have to go back into it, I go back into it. So just realize that, like, when it's all dried and done, it's not going to feel like resin. It'll feel a little rubbery. But that's part of like diorama type stuff, you know? So I guess we might as well put it on. And then what I can do too is I got a couple of the rocks over there. We could put a couple more. We could put a big chunk of it here, and you could put some of the rocks on the icy stuff in it, and it could sort of look like it's in the ice too. I have to get to that point, but I think it's gonna work. It's just gonna take some time. So I think what we should do is kind of probably take off the tape. I don't think we need the tape on. And I'll paint the base a different color. Camera out of my face. Just do here. I'm gonna kind of start over here. Yeah, because I think this stuff has, like, depending on which ones you use, it's got like little beads and stuff on there. And then you sort of kind of bleed these together. Yeah, I'm not sure how, like I said, if I have to do more layering, I will. I know it does take a little bit of time to dry, but I'm thinking also too, with a little bit of that blue overspray and this dries, it'll look like it's kind of embedded into the snow a little bit more. What we'll do is we'll kind of get this section on, and then we'll sort of blow dry it a bit. We'll see how this starts turning out. What I should probably do is I know what I'll do. Plump this stuff over here. It just takes a little time kind of playing with it a bit, and sounds like it's raining again too. Weird weather this week too. Yeah, it's kind of, and then adding a little bit of the iciness into it, sort of kind of gives a little bit of shininess as well. So if you just kind of keep playing with, I guess, like both of them, it kind of works together. I probably should have did the round base first, but oh well. Not a problem. Once it cures up, it'll be fine. I think when you see it in person, you'll like it, and it'll be better than just slapping white paint on it. No, I've used this stuff before in a sense with other projects, but not as much on this one. This is the first time I'm using the icy stuff, though. The snow sprinkles. I actually like these snow sprinkles a lot so far, because it's like transparent, but those little tiny beads in there give it that icy feel. I like this stuff, and I think it always looks amazing with stuff, but the only thing, like I said, the only downside is it's not resin, that's all. It's not paint on it. It's a little bit you know, it's like I said, think of Elmer's glue. It's sort of like that, but you get a better snow effect this way. Although I haven't done this enough to apply it where I'm like a professional like those other guys that do these for, you know, all the time. But I have the gist of what I'm trying to do. It will definitely starting to look more like snow now. It's almost got like an Elmer's type glue smell to it, but it's got a little bit more of a sting, but not bad. Not like, well, like, oh my god, I can't breathe. It's just, it's got a little bit of something in it. Yeah, I did see it. I didn't really like look like to really get a good feel of it, but I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, something seems off with the girl. I can't explain. I didn't look at it enough to say, oh my god, I see it, but when I first saw it through the email, I thought to myself saying, there's something wrong there. I'm not sure what it was. Usually, whenever something like that jumps out at me, I usually say, yeah, there's something wrong. Yeah, my first impression was like it seems off. Like, you know, did you see the sideshow Beast statue? The way his head is bent, looking back, is like broken. I guess it's almost sort of like that. But I have to really sit down and like look at it. I didn't really. I just saw the email and I kind of was like, it's going in. I really don't care. I don't find myself really paying much attention to the company scopes as much as I used to. Kind of like mostly looking at all the Patreon and all the fan art items, more or less than anything. I mean, I've been getting a lot of emails from Sideshow, but a lot of the stuff I've been getting is just like hot toy stuff. Like, there's not really sculpts coming out that I'm like, ooh, that looks cool, or I want to check that out more, and not really seeing much like I used to. So I don't know if it's just the economy, the hobby. The hobby's not dying. The guys that are saying doom and gloom, I think if anything, the companies can't compete with the 3D prints and all the stuff that's coming out. So is that Conan based off an artwork? Because I've always said it that sometimes you can't base a sculpt off of artwork because what happens is it doesn't translate correctly. And that's probably if it's based off a specific artwork, maybe it's just not coming across, correctly. That's kind of the only thing I could think of. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably what's going on with it. Yeah, it's definitely looking like snow now. Way better than just throwing that free-form air on there. Now, was it Prime One or was it Tweeterhead? They're having like a lot of troubles getting items out the door. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't there one company that's like super delayed on stuff? Or is that like all companies now? Yeah, except from what I understand, Prime One's like super. Aren't they like delayed almost like 3 years out now for some of their sculpts? Cause I got the Blitzway Superman on order through a client as a trade-off because he had credit, but I'm not expecting to see that thing for like 4 more years. So. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I don't. I'm not up to date on a lot of the broken stuff, repairs, or any defects. I don't go on the forums as much anymore, so I don't know what's going on. Well, from what I understand, Prime 1 is more Japanese based, and they allow defects. Like a lot of the Japanese customers don't complain like US customers. That's what I read a while back. I don't know if it's all true or not, but there is a lot of there's a lot of collectors out there. If there's like a little scratch, it's like the whole thing's got to be replaced. Whereas I think some collectors are like, yeah, whatever, you know. So I don't know. That could be part of it. It was raining outside. It's not. Ah, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, little errors here and there are bound to happen, but when you have a whole item that's messed up and different colors, then it's not good. It's not good at all. Where did you see all this? Was it on forums or just like on Facebook? Yeah, I do know that's Prime 1. That's been a common thing since the beginning. They never really did any replacements. Um, that was a big thing in the beginning. People were like, "What do you mean you don't do replacements?" They were like, "Nah." Alright, side note before we go any further, do you want me to throw some of these over here underneath the ice? See if the ice locks these into place. But not a green one or no green one? No green? Do you want me to see if I can put the ice, mix the ice in with these and see if it's kind of like hidden in the snow a little bit? I mean, I could do a little look right now, and then if you don't like it, I could take it off real quick. So you figure if we take these, and if we kind of, I'm hoping that the ice bonds it pretty well. We'll see how it works. Worst case scenario, I can always Dremel them out. Let's kind of see if we can. I'm pretty sure when this stuff cures, it'll bond it pretty well. Because like I said, it's like super glue, not super Elmer's glue. I don't have a small red one though. I have to see. Nah, I don't think it'll work. Let's kind of just get this on here first. Let's blow dry this, see how this kind of works out. Sitting here painting snow. It's gonna take a little while to cure up, but it will, and you'll probably see this one a little bit more, and it'll look like it's kind of wetter, like this area. You kind of see like what I did here. It's kind of wetter around the edges, and then you got the whiter stuff there. So for like this one. And I think once it cures, like we'll give it a good weekend to cure. By Monday, kind of have a better idea if I need to get back in there and do a couple spots here and there. But definitely, I do like this stuff. This diorama stuff, like these water stuff and snow stuff, really makes these things pop. I just know the guys who do this stuff like day in and day out are like the pros. They're the ones who really know all the tips and tricks on how to do stuff. So, I watched a couple in the past. Some guys could sit there and do this stuff in like 3 seconds and it looks amazing. Hey, what's up, Mimi? I watched a bunch of videos on how to make waves, with this stuff, and the guys who do it are just phenomenal. But they're building like a diorama where they need those waves. Usually, a lot of my sculpts are always like a lot of elements like this on them, so it's hard to kind of create that stuff. And I know what Jacob wanted in the beginning, sort of like waves and splashing, which is doable, but it takes it up to like going on rocks to a whole new level. So it's a little bit harder. Like I always said, you could always take these projects to a whole new level. You can do stuff, but it just takes more time, more materials. It's always doable. Like when I did that Savage Land Rogue, that custom off of the Red Sonja, that was a lot of work. But I just wanted to show people that it is doable. It's just takes a lot. Yeah, that was the Savage Land from the Red Sonja. I did with their. She was like standing in like a pool of water with a little waterfall. That waterfall was like a mistake. I poured the clear resin on the plastic sheet, and then what happened was I wasn't paying attention, and it started curing on me. So when I kind of lifted it, it sort of was stretching like taffy. And then I was like, oh shit, wait a second. And I kind of put it over and I created that waterfall, which I realized was kind of like how people do it. And I didn't realize I kind of stumbled onto it in a way. But I also then was watching videos after I was kind of doing it. And I was like, ah, okay. So it worked out pretty well. But that was a lot of chemicals. That was a lot of work. That was a rough one. In that 90-degree weather garage with long sleeves on to use all that clear resin was a nightmare. When I did the Savage Land Rogue in the water, that was my one-off. But when I did those Savage Land Storms in the water, that was for the two guys that commissioned me to paint them up that produced it, the two brothers. I think I only did one in the water, right? I don't remember. I just remember building those walls and the clear resin chemical was a nightmare. You know, when you do it on a smaller scale statue, it's easier, but when you're doing it on a bigger scale statue, it's a nightmare. Plus, never doing it before, it's just... It was rough. But, somehow I made it work. I still gotta meet up with them this summer. I have to bring them their apocalypse thing. I still have that thing I painted up for them on my damn floor. I want to get it out of the house in the worst way. I don't think they're producing anymore. I think they were doing a couple other characters, but I don't think they went ahead with them anymore. I think life just got in the way. And then I think the lockdowns hit, and then a lot of other stuff went on, so... I guess it just didn't pan out. Hey, what's up, Butterfly? How you been? I think I still have to email you, Butterfly, don't I? I've been kind of neglecting some of that stuff lately. Been working on the garage stuff like crazy. I think last week, Jacob, you asked me about when I would start the next projects. Might start them next week. He's got some stuff going on. So whenever he gets to it, we'll get those next projects out. So whenever he's got the time to get them done, I'm not rushing him. He's got family stuff. So, and I got a lot of extra stuff to work on. So next couple streams might just be like, commission stuff. But we'll once they get done, we'll start working on them. Yeah, it's not a rush, Raz. I was just letting Jacob know. I think he was the one who asked last week. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on, so it's not like I have just sitting here twiddling my thumbs waiting for stuff. I just wanted to let them know we'll get there. No, Peach is going to be in pink and black. Pink and black latex. I got a lot of good ideas for that one. We're going to do a throne too. But I'm going to ask somebody that I know has a bigger printer to do it, because Raz said he probably won't be able to fit it, so. Actually, I think the stuff is going to dry pretty well, so. Oh! Hopefully it's a nice day, nice weekend. I need to go for some walks. Been raining too much. $75 is sweltering for you? Wow. Yeah, we had let's see, a week ago it was like it was like 65, then the next day it went up to like 85. Then it was like 80 the next day, and then all of a sudden it went down to 60, and then like yesterday, like last night and this morning I woke up, it was like 45. And then like now I think it's like about 60 this afternoon. But like I'm back to wearing jeans and like a thermal shirt. I don't know what the hell happened. Okay, hopefully that it's gonna take a while for that area to cure. Yeah, you're spoiled then. You're spoiled as all hell. In Jersey, we get it all. Get that almost 8, 11 degree weather, and then we get up to that almost 100 degree weather. Like I said, I should have did the bottom of the base first, but now that we have the top of it done, once it cures, what kind of color do you want around the bottom of this? Just go. Do you want just black, like a flat black, or do you want it like white? Probably thinking maybe just a flat black. I think we can kind of put Supergirl on this too before we close out the stream later, just to kind of see how she's looking. Well, I'm thinking maybe I could do a gunmetal, but I could do a little bit darker, so it doesn't fight with the pieces. Maybe just a slightly darker gunmetal. Yeah, I think now it's just got to cure. I think if I keep slapping any more on there, we'll just kind of run into issues. Well, I had a lot of mistakes on here from sculpting, so there's a lot of, you can't see it now, but there's a lot of blemishes, but I would like to at least give it some kind of a coat. So maybe we'll just do like a darker gunmetal. I mean, but I'm kind of liking how it looks. I don't know how well it looks in the screen. This brush is shot now. What area do you want me to do it? I'll make a reminder, because right now I think I added too much. I need to because think of like Elmer's glue. If you put a lot of Elmer's glue in a cup, the top is going to cure and create a skin, and the bottom isn't going to cure. It'll take a long time for that bottom to cure. So I want to kind of let a lot of this, because I'm a little bit worried about this area here right now. I want to make sure that that cures and locks those into place. But let me know where you want me to add snow, and I'll put it in later, because I don't want to create like an area that's just too like gushy, you know. You're talking about this piece here? You want me to put snow on this? I mean, I could do that now. I thought maybe you wanted it on other areas. So you're thinking like, you want me to add some, like, in this kind of areas? Not really a lot of cracked areas to add to on it though, the way it's positioned. So you want some more drips this section? What I can do though is I can add a little bit of frost a little bit. I'm just trying to think of where snow would get captured. You know, kind of. Do you want any on the logo at all? Or are you okay with where everything is kind of like that? All right. Yeah, like I said, we'll let it cure. I'll take you pictures for you, and then you could always, go onto like Photoshop, and you can say, add a little spot there, add a little spot there, and I could go back into it. We could go that route with it. Like I said, I wanna let it cure up though. I wanna. This is what I'm concerned about this area. I'm sure it will cure and it will lock it into place. It's just gonna take a couple days. What I might do too is, like I think once I close out the stream, I can do some other stuff, and I can put this in front of the heater on the ground and kind of just let the heat blow onto it and kind of cure it up. I mean, I think this stuff, this AK Interactive was a good choice to do this though, because there's snow, there's the ice, and then there's another thing of snow. But I figured the ice and the snow would work better together. Only because it gives it, that ice gives it like a little bit of that melting area, and it's sort of semi-translucent. But I didn't know like all this stuff has like very very tiny fine beads in it. It's like very very tiny beads, and I guess it's mixed with like I guess Elmer's glue sort of, and it kind of creates snow. It's kind of cool. But I think this is a special stuff where it doesn't yellow. I think like Elmer's glue would probably like yellow or something, you know. I could put Supergirl in here, kind of show you how it looks. But I want to wash my hands before. She's in the other room laying on a blankets at the moment. Just don't want to get any residue on her. You're going to get scuffs. You're going to get scuffs, but when you get scuffs, you're not going to see the scuffs. Oh, I got to make sure her foot doesn't touch this area too. So we're going to have to check that real quick. But yeah, you will get scratches, but once she's into the base, you won't see any of those scratches. So there will be scuffs, but it's a good thing you reminded me. I'm pretty sure her foot won't touch any of this. But we're going to check now. So let me wash my hands and let's check. It's always, you don't want to do something and think that it's going to fit, and then you run into an issue. Yeah, sadly there's nothing I can do about scratches, but like I said, they'll be hidden. You won't see them. And I tried to make sure too that it goes in a way where when you pop her out, it doesn't scratch something, and then when you put it back in, you see that scratch. Like all these scratches will be completely hidden inside the key. That's always one thing I never understood when I do customs for people, is they're really focused on the key, not scratching paint, and I'm just like, but you never see it. Like, what does it matter if the paint is scratched inside the key? But I do get a couple guys who really hate it when their keys are scratching, which is nothing I can do about it, but so for instance, there's a scratch here, but when she's in the base, you won't see that scratch, you know? Well, like I said, see, you see how like the key's all scratched up there of that paint, and that scratch is there, but when you put them into the item, as long as you put it in correctly, of course. Hold on, I'm doing this with the camera over my shoulder. I don't want to break the belt. Like when you put her in there, you know, you're not going to see that scratch because it's hitting that area. So you'll never see it. It's there, but I can't. There's nothing I can do about that. You have resin and paint hitting another resin and paint, so you run into an issue. So there's, like I said, that's just the way it is. But yeah, she fits. She's not hitting anything. Definitely pops off the base. Now, when you pop her off, there might be more scratches down the line and stuff on there, but it's not going to like rip all the paint off the statue, you know? I mean, paint might stick a little bit, but it's not going to, like, when you pop it off, you're not going to like rip all this paint all there. It's just going to be scratched and marked in that area there. And sadly, that's the design of this item. There's nothing I could do about it. I mean, if you really, really wanted to, you could put a tiny piece of fabric or something there, but it's not really going to cause an issue, I would say. You know? Now, if I put like 30,000 layers of paint and it was like a candy shell, then you would have a problem where it could crack and stuff, but I didn't put that much on there. There's not enough paint in there for her to bond, you know. There's really not that much primer or paint. Yeah, it might be a little bit tough down the line, but I don't think it's going to cause an issue like you think it will. I've never really had an item where the way I painted, it would bond to the point where you can never get it off the item. I think if like people use like enamels and lacquers and you had that really thick car type paint, it would really bond. But I can't, you know. Yeah, it's hard to say. It could mark up over time. It could crack it. It could be fine. I don't really know. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think it will. Yeah, I don't have that much paint and caked into her, so I don't think we have a problem with all that. But you can kind of see the hair. It's got a little bit of that pearl hidden to it. So it grabs a little bit of shine. I've just been trying to be very, very careful I don't break that bell piece, that's all. I just gotta this one little spot over there with the eyelid, I just gotta kind of get that in there. I'll gloss up her lips at the end. We could try and put on the cape, I guess, a little bit right now. As long as it doesn't fall. So you're gonna have to be pretty careful with this. So should be okay to get away with this without gluing it in. But I'm going to try to hold on to this as best as I can. It's gonna be a little. It's a good thing there's rods in here, but you got to be very careful you don't scratch it. Try to keep both rods together. It should slide in as far as you can get it. Careful you don't scratch with your fingernails either. Same thing with this. Try to hold them together best you can. Kind of squeeze it in there as far as you can and go like that. Sorry. I mean, I'll never match the yellow perfect, but that's as far as close as I'll be able to match the yellows. So as long as you make sure you don't have any crazy fingernails and sort of kind of squeeze it together, you can get the cape in there and it works out pretty good. But as far as the red and yellow, I'll never match it 100% because cloth is different than paint. But that's as close as I was able to get it. But the belt is a little bit of, has a red hue in there, a little orange hue in the belt, just to kind of break it up a bit. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I just have to do a couple touch-ups. We have to finalize the base. There's just a couple spots underneath the skirt I gotta just kind of hit with some blue paint. And I think we're kind of there. I did paint up the fingernails a bit. Just kind of that pinkish pink fingernail stuff she has. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, just be very careful of your fingernails when you're kind of going in here. If you have big clumsy fingers, then if you have somebody that's got smaller fingers, have them do it. No, I didn't sculpt the fingernails because I completely forgot, but I painted them. So I kind of followed the artwork a little bit, the way her fingernails were painted in the artwork. It's kind of hard to see, but I gave it a little bit of a white highlight and a little bit of a white in there, sort of like her fingernails were. So I didn't sculpt them, but that's something I probably should have did from the start. But I think it looks fine the way it is. I don't know, it's up to you. I mean, I could try and sculpt fingernails on her, but they probably might look a little clumsy and too thick. I think the base works for her then now. Yeah, she only has just the thumb showing, and that's why I didn't go crazy with the thumbs, because if you look at her artwork, you know, if you look at her artwork, she did these like bright whites, like fingernails like that, but I didn't go too bright white on it, because I thought if I did too white, it would, like, your eye would come to there, I'm sorry. You know, if you did like this bright white, this would be popping out like crazy. And I didn't really want to do that. If all her fingers were showing, then I would do a little bit of a different like paint up, but I hate when I see somebody paint up an item and they have that one fingernail glowing in the hand. It bothers me. I don't know. I mean, if that's what you want, because even in this artwork, like, you have all this lightness and then all of a sudden this glowing fingernail here. I never liked that. But other than that, just gotta do some touch-ups, clean some areas, get underneath that skirt. Hair came out good though. The way the hair works on this sculpt. I sent it to a friend and he was like, was that the, he didn't realize it was the Captain Marvel sculpt. But the red on her symbol is the same red on her boots, but the boots I added a little bit of shading in there, so there's just a little bit of shading. Hey, what's up, Jerry? No, this is the Captain Marvel from Sideshow. I think once I gloss up her lips, we'll come pretty close to the face. But we didn't really miss anything from the outfit. We pretty much got everything. Yeah, I think we pretty much got everything. Yeah, actually, here's the Fathom head I'm working on for the guy who bought it from you. So, but yeah, this worked out good. Like I said, I just gotta clean up some spots here and there. I just want to take this off right now. I don't, just in case it falls onto the base. Yeah, I'm gonna use eye decals, but what I'll do is once I do the eye decals, I'll try to kind of copy the way he colors the eyes a bit. I'll try my best. But I mean, but then when you go over here to these eyes, they don't really have that really bright white at the bottom. But I'll try to get as close as I can. Yeah, it's just looking pretty good. So this is I did the new 52 Supergirl. We just did Michael Turner's Supergirl. Yeah, so far I've gotten 2 versions of Supergirl back to back. Well, let's see. I'm going to... Got all these eye decals here. So I'm thinking her eyes are more... Well, let's see, I could do, so we have these blue ones that I could put right on there, but then I have these blue ones, but then I could put the white around these, which would probably, these would be closer. Yeah, these would probably be the better, because these eyes are a little bit, yeah, probably these. Unless, these are a little bit more realistic. The sheet's almost shot. Only problem with the movie version is, whatchamacallit, it would be the actress. I'm actually, I'm going to make my own white version, the white shirt. with the blue skirt, the tight skirt. I have the statue I'm gonna use that for, but I haven't had a chance to make that one yet. No, the cape was from another Supergirl statue, right, Jacob? From one of the sideshow Supergirls. So Jacob sent me the statue, and then I sort of had to kind of design the design for the cape to fit in it. So the best thing we came up with was, because it had 2 rods in there, I put holes, and we kind of you just sink the cape into this area here. It was the best option. No, Sideshow Captain Marvel. Still one of the best statues out there. As you can see, I have another Captain Marvel I'm doing a side character off of. No, there wasn't that much on this, was there? Maybe there was, I don't remember. Although I got this Captain Marvel a few years back that was damaged on eBay, but it didn't have the head. So this is that Power Girl head I had sculpted by Tony Cipriano. It's kind of the same scale. So I think the most fun on this one was the skirt. This was a lot of fun to create this skirt. Although, Jacob's got to be very, very careful with handling her. You gotta, like, when you handle her, you want to hold her, like, in this midsection. And make sure you never put your thumb or finger on this or grab her from the skirt. You kind of always hold her from the midsection. And when you want to pull her off the base, grab her from, like, right under the boobies and like hold the foot area and pop her off that way. So be careful. Even though this is a metal rod and it's in there, you can still snap it right off. Who's Dr. Miami? But, alright, so I'm gonna move her into the booth. Although I had to rebuild the neck though. I had to create the whole neck on this one because the Captain Marvel neck wasn't really there. Oh, okay. I thought it was another sculptor or something. I was like, Dr. Miami, I never heard of that guy. Okay, so let's get this over here. Just let her dry up. So the next item I'm going to paint, which you guys saw last time, she is just about ready for paint. is that button? Did I? So I have to. Yeah, well, this is for the client. I have to paint up. I have to customize and paint mine up down the line, which I don't know when I'll get to, but I'll get to it someday. Is this the right buttons for these? No, this is not the right button. Why is this not the right button? I'm confused. Did I use the wrong button for these? No, these are. Oops. I grabbed the wrong one. Hold on. I know I got the right button here somewhere. Here we are. Yeah. No. I'm confused. Oh well, I have all these buttons I got. So I think, oh no, these are them. Oh, there's different buttons in here. That's why. Interesting. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, Wally, I'll have to show it to Mike Grell when I see him this Baltimore con. So this was the original belt that she came with. I didn't like the way they did this. So I did, I did my own belt. I used the same button for here. So I re-sculpted the belt buckle on her and everything. And of course I gave her a bigger chest and a correct chest now. I'd have to, I showed in the video the comparison from because I have my kits in the box still. And then we did tweak her booty a bit, but we only tweaked the, instead of her having those, she had just like a little bit of a line here and here. I cut into this area and I gave her, so it makes her look like her booty is a little bit thicker now. Because he wanted me to kind of correct that. So, but all I have to do now is just work on the rope. Yes, the boobs are a lot bigger, and they are not. If you look at the original sculpt, they sink down. I brought them up, and I created the tightness circle outfit like I normally do. So all I really have to do right now is figure out the rope, because the way they did it is they have a rope that connects into here, and then the rope goes from there to a little hole up there. So I just have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. But all in all, she's pretty much ready to go once I figure that out. Prime her up, get her sanded, and start painting her. But yeah, I wanted to go more of the belt buckle kind of at an angle. So that's what I did with this. I wasn't really a fan of this belt buckle, the way they had it. They had it like, I don't know, I kind of like more of the looser one like this. Yeah, I think I get a lot more DC stuff. I think I do, in a way. Yeah, this portrait is amazing. So I do like this portrait a lot. So I'm gonna have to leave this buckle up here, since it seems that they have different stuff in them. Yeah, when I post a video on this, you'll see it from the beginning of how I chopped it. I explained some of it, but right now I gotta start painting her up soon. So. No, I think there's DC fans, but they don't get enough stack shoes. I think that's what it is. I think there's more Marvel stuff produced than DC stuff in 1/4 scale. So that's why I think I get more DC stuff going. I think that's what it is. But yeah, I need to do a little bit of garage work and then I'm going to start painting this up. So I got to start saving this one for rainy days. And then I'll pop out Joe's item to show you. Working on Joe's Mary Jane at the moment. And that's what we're using the Fathom head for. I don't think Joe really cares, but... So yeah, we're going to put the Fathom head on this one. Yeah, so I got the arm on her, Joe. She's all filled in with the resin. She's nice and steady. I sanded down the logo. So we have to figure out a couple more steps on this one. So, yeah, we just got the arm on her yesterday. So we're going along on this one pretty good. I just gotta finish up the head. I put some freeform air in the center of this, and then I put Aves on it. So I gotta sand it down, and then I have ears here that Raz printed up for me in scale probably. I got more ears over there, so I'll probably put ears on her and then get the head attached and rebuild it a bit. But she's getting there. And then your other one. So she's filled up as well. Hey, what's up, JC? Hey, Raphael. I didn't attach this leg yet because it's going to get attached at the end. So I sanded this down today. And then what I'm thinking of doing, grab some silly putty. So her skirt, I'm thinking probably be more like kind of more there, I think. No, maybe a little bit higher, a little bit. This is a Gwen Stacy, and we're taking her to a new level. So maybe what we'll do is we'll put the skirt here, just sort of under the booty, because she's not really. Of course, I'll find a better way. And then the way I'm going to do the skirt is like I do my other skirts. Because the way the sculptor originally had this skirt was just not where we want it to be. So yeah, this will look a lot better than kind of what was there. Gives you a little bit of a better idea of kind of where I'm thinking to go with it. It's not the best, but See, what we're doing is we're getting back the hourglass on this one, because the way the sculptor had it, lost the hourglass because he sculpted the it kind of went a little too thick. So we're gonna have that hourglass here, and we'll have sort of like wrinkles a little bit, and then we'll have sort of the wrinkles there, and it'll come up to this hourglass, because the way he sculpted it was, and the way the 3D printed, the skirt was hovering over the resin, and if you grab it the wrong way, it could crack it. And he had this really, really thick waist here, and we lost this area in here. So the idea is sort of to do a very small belt buckle here to make it look like this shirt is kind of being a little bit pushed outwards, you know? So I got to kind of work on it a little bit. But that'll work a little bit better that way. So the way the skirt was originally, I think it was kind of like down here, and it kind of went up here, and the way he cut the legs, I was never going to be able to seam the legs into it. It was weird. But something like that is more where I'm thinking of putting this skirt, and kind of mark it a little bit. She's not supposed to have like a high skirt. She's more of a lower skirt. It's Joe's commission he did a while back. It's Gwen Stacy. She's I guess you could say it's kind of like a schoolgirl. It's kind of like her basic, you know, her outfit with a black skirt and boots. She's holding school books, and she's kind of like holding up her glasses. We're still doing a lot more to it, but that's kind of the idea for the skirt. I got frustrated with the skirt, basically. It wasn't Joe's fault. It was just that as I was working on it, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to rip off this skirt and we're going to do something different. He was like, okay. I just didn't like what I was working with. But this was sculpted, what I think you said 2018, I think it was. No, not for Gwen. Gwen Stacy doesn't have the pleated skirt. She's got the, think of Gwen Stacy more of that tighter, longer black skirt. You know, that's because that's the look we're going for. We're not going for schoolgirl modern day. We're going for Gwen Stacy, typical Gwen Stacy in the black skirt, basically. Yeah. So, but there's going to be more to it. We're going to tweak. We got some work to do. It's just right now. All I did was I got the rod. There's a rod here in her leg. So this rod was bent this way, and it goes all the way up to her waist. And I poured resin all the way in the body. So now this is all solid, and we don't have to worry about any bending or warping. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on for now. But I might work on this on streams a little bit until we get the other items done. So it all depends on how things progress. But that's kind of what I'm we're lots of projects. So what I'll do is when I'm working during the week and I have extra A's, if I have an extra sheet of A's that cures, I'll wrap it around here and then there. And then that'll kind of start. I might even, I might have to do my, putting my metal rods too. You know how I usually take my metal rods? And I sort of kind of do that. So this way, you know, you don't get that snapping. So I'll probably line this up a little bit better. And I'll put my metal rods down. Yeah, she's not a shorts girl. She's kind of more of a cleaner gal, I guess you could say. It's not going to the strip joint. And then, what else do I got? Oh yeah, the poison ivy. So, Alright, did a little more work on Poison Ivy. Kind of cleaned up a little bit of the chest, at least the rib cage area a bit. And then I took out the rod. I still don't understand why they put a rod in this foot, but the rod went all the way to about here straight across. It ended like right there. So the top of the foot broke off. So I got that rod out. And then I put this rod in here. So this rod goes here, and it comes all the way up to about right here. So I drilled out underneath this foot. You can see I kind of put all the red A's in here. So this rod I bent. It goes to about like there. It bends up to here, and it comes all the way up to here. I couldn't get the drill any further. But then after I put her together, I realized that this item was set up for the base, and her foot was bent upwards. So if you put her flat into the base, she would kind of lean forward. So since I had the rod in here, I cut this and I bent it back and I filled it in with A's. So now her foot and her body is all lined up correctly. I still might have to tweak the foot a bit, but at least now she won't be like leaning forward like she's falling down. But that's kind of where I'm at with this one. This one, yeah, there we go. Yeah. So the other thing too is her foot. I guess it was a common thing. This foot was always longer than this one, I guess, when it went into the base. So I'm just gonna have to sort of line these up when I get the base from the client. He's having a different base for this one. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Poison Ivy. Yeah, this so the way this one was, and I threw it all away. Just a horrible idea on this one. So the way this was is this is the foot, right? This is the foot here. So here's the foot. So it had this key about this thick underneath the foot, and then it had a rod hanging out of the foot like so. But this rod only went up to about here when I ripped it out of the key. It didn't even really go up in here. It just kind of went to there. So if this key breaks, then there's nothing in here underneath the foot. And then if you break it at the ankle, there's nothing in the ankle. So now this is going to go flat onto whatever base we get. And there's a rod all the way up here, so I don't have to worry about this ankle anymore. But yeah, this is how the key was. I hate how the factories for Sideshow do these keys. Like, this is not good supporting for a statue. This rod should be going all the way up here, the ankle. You know, it should be something up there. But they didn't do that, so. But a lot of your statues that have these keys, like this in your statue and these rods, they only go to about here. Some of them may go into the foot, but most of them are only right about there. And anytime people break these keys, it's a nightmare to fix them. That's why I always end up putting rods up to the ankles and the items for people. So that's why I always invest in key stock. So, you know, I buy these key stock rods, and then I bend them so you can see this rod going all the way up there now supports the ankle versus just having something at the foot. Same thing with that Power Girl I showed you. I put a rod up the foot to where the key meets the knee and everything, so that's all secure. You'll see it in the video, but I'm just paranoid. Whenever I build my stuff, I get so paranoid. I'm like, why should I put the key, do all this custom work when I can do a little couple extra steps and put a rod in there for someone, versus like down the line, if they're not paying attention and it breaks, you do all that custom work and it snaps, you know? It all depends. Like, not all resins are made the same or casted the same, and I'm not saying that all resins will warp over time, but you figure this one I think would be okay for people because they did two keys in the feet, so you have a little bit more support. But say you have an item that's floating in the air with one leg, right? And then you have a really heavy hair piece and arms. So over time, this could start to weaken and crack. And like, say somebody pulls it out of a, you know, say you ship it to somebody, you sold it, you know. So somebody puts it into the base and then they kind of pull forward and pull out. You can start to crack that area. So yeah, Joe's Emma broke. I've done a couple others in the past. I don't know. It pisses me off that, you know, like, how hard is it to throw a rod in the foot? You know, I understand that this, you know, it has a bend, but it's not that hard for the factory to kind of just bend the rod real quick, put it in the mold, and cast it with that rod in there. You know, I take the extra steps. It's just, because too, the other thing too, imagine I'm doing custom work on this, right? You know, I'm lifting her, I'm putting her in the base, I'm turning her, I'm putting her back in the base, I'm popping her out, putting her back in the base. Say I get to the end of the custom, I'm ready to paint it, or I even start painting it, and over time, I wasn't paying attention and that key is starting to crack, you know? It's starting to crack on me. And then, you know, what if at the last minute I put on the final touches, it just breaks, you know? Or I send it to the client and they put it in the base and it cracks and it breaks. So that's why whenever I do my customs, I try to at least secure it if I think it needs to be secured. But since I dremeled all these leaves off and I did all this extra work, I said screw it, I'm putting a rod in here anyway. Plus I didn't like the other foot having a key in it, you know, it didn't make any sense. You never know. I mean, usually, the majority of the time, these keys crack like exactly, I think, where Joe's cracked. They crack like right there. They kind of crack like right there. So you get a little bit of that meat left there, but then this whole entire section comes off. So I think I must have repaired, of all the years I've done statues that has a key like this, I must have repaired that I haven't filmed probably about 28 of these keys, I think, for people on various statues. Usually what I do is when people send me the item, most of the time you don't have a heel. It's kind of like a flat foot. You know, usually you have it's kind of more or less like this. You know, it's kind of like a flat foot. So a lot of the times people's keys break with the rod like that. So what I usually tell people is, look, let's just kill this key. I'm going to Dremel up the ankle, and I'm going to put a rod, square rod, up there, and I'll make a new key into your base, and I think I've done that. So I've done probably like about 10 Bowen statues like this. Not all of them, but some of them, and I think I've done about, like, you know, 18 like larger statues, whether it was like a video game, a sideshow. I think I've done like one Prime 1. I think I fixed an XM. And I'll just get them in and I'll just repair them and get them out the door instead of filming everything. Because it's like, I can't sit there and dick around with every single repair. But, yeah, that's usually the common thing, is this key just breaks right there. Yeah, what I'll do with yours is the key that's like this further here, I'll just sand all this down, and I'll just Dremel up as far as I can without going through anything, and put a square rod, and then make another thing into the base, sort of like what I did with the Power Girl. I'll show you real quick, just so you guys can sort of see. Yeah, so this key was probably a little bit thicker, you can sort of see. So what I did is I cut the key down a bit. I Dremeled up all the way up here to about the calf muscle, and I put this rod all the way up there, and then after that I put A's in there with the key, the square piece, and now that goes in there. And I don't have to worry about any kind of warping or damage or any of that stuff. So you figure if you're putting a rod here to build the kit, you might as well just kind of Dremel down. You just had to be very careful I didn't Dremel through the ankle, you know, because this has a texture. So it was a little tricky, but it took my time and I did it. So this rod goes to about there, like so. You know. And I figure once this is secured, I don't have to worry about this leg, because this is kind of more the support than this is. So, yeah, and it goes in pretty well. I didn't have to magnetize it. It goes in, and it's nice and smooth. Yeah, so that's what I did with that, and I'm doing the same thing with the bayonet kit. So my bayonet kit, gotta be careful with this one. So her body is solid, but I asked them to print the legs hollow because I did the same thing here. So this had that huge key on it. If this is hollow and you like to work in hollow, you can do it, but I like everything solid. So I cut the key off and I bent the rod all the way up there. You can't see it, but the rod's like ends right about here. So this key, and I filled in all the holes. And I'm going to pour resin in here and I'll lock this all into place. And then this one, instead of doing a, I don't need to have a second, I'm going to cut this key down and use a magnet in here. But I put this metal rod, and this goes all the way down into here, right about there, because I couldn't bend it in any further. And I'll pour resin in here, and then these two will be solid with rods. And I won't have to worry about these warping or anything. But I can't, which we'll call, and then I'll Dremel a whole rod in there, and then I'll get this leg secured, and I won't have to worry about this at all either. So that's what I got with those so far. Alright, well, that is about it, though. I think I am done for the day. Got Supergirl will probably be done, hopefully, another week. Raccoon shows up just as I'm ready to shut down the stream. Slacker. Yeah, you're gonna have to scroll back, Raccoon, and check out the Supergirl for Jacob. But yeah, I'm tapped out. Yeah, so that's it. Probably next week, like I said, I'll be working on some more kits, commissions. Raz has got stuff going on, but when he gets his stuff done, we'll start working on those down the line. But yeah, so for now, I'm just gonna keep working on commissions and going through stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. Alright, you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by. So you can see you next week, alright?